Greetings from somewhere. We are... There we go. Get it down a little bit. We are doing some All Elite rambling today about All Elite's wrestling's recent pay-per-view, All Out. I'm Dylan from somewhere, joined by Dr. Harley Quinn and special guest Earl Skakel. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, Earl, you've been watching week to week, right? Because last time I watched All Elite Wrestling was the last pay-per-view.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I think AEW's strong point is their pay-per-views, which is weird because their weak point is storytelling and overall cohesiveness in their television shows. But somehow their pay-per-views are really good for the most part.
It's working with the wrong microphone. That should be the one right there. It's. I remember TNA was just the opposite. Vince Russo was always writing for television, and it wasn't much for the pay-per-views. Not really much to get you, but and WWE, they are. That's what I really wanted to say. They are pushing us away, publicly saying, you know what, we haven't been charging our fans enough. Saudi Arabia, WrestleMania, we're ready to say something else. You guys are giving me the creeps over there.
Yeah, I mean,
popping up with WrestlePalooza too, just out of nowhere.
I think it's
AEW.
Tony Khan's a fan. He thinks more like we do. He's just a fan with $1 billion. So he's doing what I would be doing if I had $1 billion. I'd be like, yeah, I'll bring in this guy, I'll bring in this girl, I'll do this, I'll do that. So, you know.
And I got to say, I've had that pipe dream a million times. Like, what if I would have hit the lottery at or around March of 2001? It's like, if I would have hit the lottery, there's no question. This is no hyperbole at all. I would have figured out how I could have purchased WCW and ECW and found I would have been smart enough even back then to go, I can't run it. So I need to collect some people to keep my dream alive. So yeah, I agree with you. I would be doing I wouldn't be telling the same stories, but the heart of it, I would be doing the same thing.
Well, just like the opening segment with I still have trouble calling him Adam Copeland, Edge and Christian walking through.
Same thing.
And they come
I have Edge and Christian.
Yeah, I can't say Cope. It's just
no.
It's kind of like Vinnie Vincent taking over for Ace Frehley. I still want to call Vinnie Ace. Just with that opening segment they did with Wendell Clark, who is, if you follow hockey, a iconic Toronto Maple Leaf, and just that's something
hanging out by his own picture. That's out of like a silly Naked Gun-esque movie, like the Zucker brothers have him. Oh, look, there you are, right by your photo. Great to meet you.
That's been a wrestling trope, I swear, for 30 years. I can't count the number of times backstage at Raw they would walk by someone, especially if they were in a place like Madison Square Garden. It's like, hey, it's the celebrity right by his picture.
It was just so well done, though, especially in Toronto, where he is, like, if you don't follow hockey, like, to the people listening, like, he is iconic to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Even though he played for a few other teams, he was their best player. He was the best fighter and beloved in that community still, as you could tell. Even though he looks different, he's bald, everyone still knew, hey, that's Wendell Clark. So now I was lost on the second celebrity, the Green Goblin guy.
Oh,
you're unfamiliar with the trail. He got the big pop because I was going to say it would have been nice if they would have got Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys, then Wendell, and then Bubbles dressed up as the bastard. But Bubbles got a huge fucking pop.
He did. I'm like, I don't watch a lot of Canadian TV shows just because I don't have access to them. I mean, I guess you could just go online, but
Yeah.
so I was a little lost with the other two references.
Both
I
Trailer
would
Park Boys,
suggest that-
same character. Just
Yeah,
one
I
was
would-
his wrestling persona.
So that was the same person.
Yes.
How did they do that so fast? The switch over.
I saw the cut. If you're looking for it, you see the cut.
Okay, that's why you guys are the host.
Yeah. Yeah, and I suggest going back and checking out Trailer Park Boys. I really, really, really loved it. I thought it was very creative.
Yeah, because I did a roast battle against K. Trevor Wilson, who was in that other show, Letterkenny or something. It's like a big show in Canada, so I would have known it if it was him, but I thought it was Corky from Life Goes On, to be honest with you.
I do remember the Red Green show from Canada airing on PBS.
Right, that's back in the day.
And then there was what was it, Kenny versus Spinny? Wasn't that Canadian?
Mm-hmm. 1 or 2 seasons in America, but yeah, whole bunch up in Canada. And we got our Canadian boys reuniting Edge and Christian for the second time. They opened the show last month against Luchasaurus and the other guy, Kip. So
Kip
2 months in a row. And I understand why they're going on first, because I was like, why are they jerking the curtain? But it's something big that people want to see, and they don't. They're not coming in with forks like in the Moxley match, or not as many flips. So I understand why to come in first and get the legends in there that aren't going to. Potentially, there's so many times I'm like, oh my God, he's concussed. They like to drop each other on their heads in AEW a little, I guess, strong style. That's the strong style as well. They like from Japan.
Well, I mean, that Okada's finishing move, well, not the Rainmaker, but he does that weird, almost like a pile driver on one knee. And man, if you slip up just an inch or two, that's a broken neck. But I mean, I know he knows what he's doing, but still, they're sweaty and greased up. I wouldn't trust that move, really.
Yeah, it takes two to tango with a move like that, because the guy delivering it, he's got to be on point, and the guy taking it has to also be on point and know when to tuck and all that good stuff. Or, that one's an easy one. You take for granted that a lot of bumps, are kind of easy, like the pedigree. We could take the pedigree all day long. It's just a face bump. You just turn.
Can I take the cane bump? Have you become aware of what the cane bump is with the pedigree? He always throws a knee down.
Yeah, I don't know why. He always did, though.
But there is a skill to taking the bump correctly. I mean, I did a roast battle with John Morrison, John Hennigan, Johnny Nitro.
Okay. Yeah,
I saw him show up at the midnight show at UCB one time. I think he was a judge.
Yeah, he's a great guy, but he wanted to do a roast battle. I said, well, bro, you're probably not going to do very well. So let's do a wrestling shtick at the end, just in case you start bombing. And he did this thing where I got up on stage and I asked my girlfriend at the time to marry me. And we're about to kiss each other. And then she turns and kisses John Morrison instead. And he puts me in a stone cold stunner. And he gave me the simplest instructions to do when I do it. Whatever you do, don't turn your head. And I was so fucking scared when he grabbed me, because he's strong, man. Like he is like a one muscle. I turned my head and his knee hit my face. And that's a simple finishing move. So I can imagine, like with, what was it? Osprey's, that storm driver thing he does. And Omega's the V trigger. The V trigger, you could break a neck if you're not careful. So
even the muscle buster, there's the freak accident of two great workers. What was his name? TJ Smith.
He was one of the Hart kids or grandkids or married into him.
Natty's husband, maybe it was. He got crippled from wrestling from the muscle buster, which 1 or 2 people in 30 years have done that. Just some freak accident.
Well, even Sting and Rick Rude in Japan
Yes.
were
the stage.
Yeah, I mean that you'd think two guys as veteran as those guys were, even at that time, they had 10 years in the game.
Where they used to do it 5-6 days a week, every week.
Yeah, back in the day. I mean, you did 3-4 house shows, 2 big shows. So it's I'm really amazed more guys and girls, of course, don't get hurt more often. I mean,
it was the stage that was the culprit. They've done that spot a million times. They just didn't account for that stage and make
the Japanese
the
stage. The same thing that happened to Shawn Michaels on the coffin, taking the bump on that structure on the side there. Wrong, bam, fucked for years.
And that bump that Michaels took, it doesn't look devastating. I've watched it a dozen times. He looks like he barely touches the coffin. He just kind of flips past it. But yeah, that messed him up for years.
Well, even with I love how No, I was just going to say, even with that, we talked about the last time when Sid almost killed Pillman twice. That was a basic power bomb, but they probably didn't go over the spot, beforehand, and just said, "That's a power bomb. Just take it." And oh well, Sid's pretty tall. The ceiling's pretty low for this, for whatever reason.
Yeah,
and he knocked him out. He almost killed him.
Yeah,
and it's in the script to do it twice. No one is stopping them. Like, not as bad as the Raja Khan referee of not stopping that or stepping in. But yeah, Sid, fuck, I'm supposed to do it twice. No one's stopping it. I got to do it twice on Pillman.
But you would think when he picked him up the second time, his body was pretty lifeless. You would think he might go, oh, okay, maybe I'll just, I don't know.
Yeah, that second one, it was almost like he was having to just slide him onto his shoulder to drop him again. He still laid in that second one. He was just really gentle on the lift up to make sure his legs cleared that top of that cage.
I still laugh that they sent in El Gigante to save him. Like, he could barely walk. Like. He's taller. Don't you see? That's wrestling logic. Taller. I'm always surprised seeing Giant Baba. I've never seen him in action. But he's just tall. He's not muscular at all. Yeah, he might have the worst body of any pro wrestler I've ever seen. Like, I don't know. His body is like he's like that UFC fighter Bigfoot Silva, but without the muscle.
Yeah, and if you want to know something about Giant Baba's punches, wrestlers have been on record saying his punches, you couldn't feel them and they looked like shit. His punches looked like Andre the Giant's mashed up with Rio's punches. They were terrible.
Yeah, he didn't really. He did like an open hand. He didn't really close his fist, and he was so awkward. He looked like he had scoliosis of the chest. Like,
I want to jump ahead, talking about these awful slaps and this terrible chest to the second match. Actually, we didn't get done with Edge and Christian, but Big Bill versus Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston had a chance. There was a time where people were ready to really get behind him, and once I heard, I believe I've noticed this even without hearing Jim Cornette say he has cheap gear, but he doesn't have new gear. It looks like he's had that same gear for 10 years. He's not physically impressive. That's why it's so important that they struck after that article hit, and I was like, oh, this is like a man's man, because it's now he's just coming in looking like that with no fire behind him. And when he took his straps down, I was like, oh, no, put those straps back up. We don't need to see what's going on there, Eddie.
I mean, I think when you have nipples that small, you got to have a big chest to cover up for it. It's just, I think they could turn him into a Dusty Rhodes type character. I mean, Dusty wasn't exactly a fitness freak.
No, Lord, no.
But, and Eddie, obviously, he could be that common man type gimmick where he looks like a guy who works at a factory. But so far they haven't, like you said, capitalized.
Yeah, because a lot of times wrestling fans get conditioned that everybody's going to come out of like that factory looking like Matt Cardona. So you need someone that regular Joes can, identify with, like Eddie Kingston. He's a fat piece of shit. A lot of wrestling fans are fat pieces of shit. They need someone to look up to. They're not going to look at, Kyle Felcher and be like, that's my guy. When you could look at Eddie Kingston and like, that guy looks like I went to school with him. That guy looks like someone I smoked pot with behind the factory. So I completely agree. It's one of the reasons, like when going back to when we were kids, one of the reasons I got behind people like Bobby Eaton. Bobby Eaton was just an everyman looking guy. And when he turned babyface in WCW and was wrestling like Ric Flair, that was perfect for me. You got a hillbilly from Alabama wrestling this highfalutin Ric Flair. Yeah, so I completely agree. We need characters like that.
He's pretty good on the mic.
No.
He needs that
he
one.
He hit 2 out of 3 back fists really good.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh boy, that second one. You saw him go down. That was the finish. That second one that he whiffed. Tony Schiavone, he missed it.
And got the pin.
Yeah, they have a small little discussion there of like, is that it? Are we going with it? Because Big Bill kind of realized, I don't think that looked good. Are we doing this? Yeah, we're doing it. It's the end. Oh, man.
Yeah, that ending was a little wonky, just because that's the one thing I will give WWE credit for is their camera work is amazing. And sorry about Lois. I knew this would happen again.
That's Lois the dog. She's getting up there in age, and she has. It sounds like you have a human house guest. She's got the cough so much.
She's a 3-pack a day smoker, and but with AEW, I've noticed this almost on the last 10 Dynamites I've watched. And I'm sure their cameramen are very good camera people, but you really see the missed or the worked punches in AEW a lot more.
Yeah.
Like WWE, if that Big Bill Eddie punch, the Phantom Punch was in WWE, you wouldn't have seen it. Like it would have looked like it should have looked. So
yeah, they would have cut at the right time. And that was one thing I wanted to bring up about this pay-per-view, and it's a big difference between AEW and WWE. Is like we all know that Tony Khan's a nice guy, and he probably doesn't get on to anybody unless it is major. And I saw a lot of like missed opportunities with like camera cuts and camera angles. The first one was going back to the first match. Beth coming out should have been a humongous deal, and they should have been cut to the camera that showcased her coming out better. But they were on this far out shot, and I'm like, and I'm kind of confused because I can't see who's coming out to the ring. I see the name Beth, but it's not clicking until I could actually see her. If they would have been using a different shot, it would have got a much better reaction from, people at home and people watching. And then there were other moments, usually during the action, where they just had a bad shot.
It's funny how nitpicky I got nitpicky about Beth's appearance in a different way. I don't like in the middle of the match when we get the full lights, the full music and Tron. I don't like that during a match. And just out at the beginning, it would have been like a second huge pop for Edge to get his pyro. And then I'm joined tonight by Beth. What an incredible surprise. Everything still could have happened the same way. But it's funny how you got nerdy with it with that way, and I got like nerdy nitpicky that way.
See, I wouldn't have minded the intro they did with just no music. You just have a run out. You have the announcers sell it. Oh my God, who's that? Or she comes out from the crowd.
And if the fans in the arena can't tell who it is, a kiss with Edge, now we know.
Yeah, I mean, because she does look noticeably not skinnier. I mean, she still looks in great shape, but definitely not as big. I mean, she was almost China-like big at
Oh,
one
yeah.
point. So I don't know, but I understand what you guys are both saying. I would, because you could tell it was a weird moment in the ring where all four guys paused and they're like looking up at the entrance, like, when's her music gonna hit? You know, and I think that kind of it wasn't the biggest botch, but it kind of interrupted the flow. Whereas without the music, it would have been fine.
I don't know where Meltzer rated this on stars, but I was talking about this last time with things that should be just knock him the fuck out. Edge getting hit by the bell, 2 shatter machines, and then a spear ends it. It starts losing stars for me at that point when I'm like, a bell, or it was a pile driver, a spike pile driver, and a bell, and he kicks out. You're starting to lose me there. That's too much to be. You know, when they had it back in the day, like they would struggle to get over. You have a chance to recover, but nope. Bell shot, spike pile driver, 1, 2, boom. You lost a quarter star for me there. You're getting too. You should have a concussion. You've got a bad neck. You were out because of your neck.
I can answer the first part. Meltzer rated it 4.5 stars, so we know that tickled his taint the right way. And yeah, it was one of the things that us older young fans get on the AEW about. There was too much in that match. There was too many, and this isn't the most egregious match on the card by far, but we all know Edge's neck problems. So if you're going to do like a devastating move that we're supposed to pretend impacts the neck like a pile driver, that should be a finisher, or like a carry out on a stretcher type deal. We shouldn't be building up the Edge's bad neck. They even said it. He didn't wrestle for over 7 years, and then he's like kicking out of like spike pile drivers and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, there were many more egregious matches on this card than this one.
It's just what it is. I'm going to be the old man yelling at that should have been the finish through every match, basically.
Yeah,
because no, he should be dead after that. There has been wishful thinking of online fans of Cena coming back to WWE, or Edge coming back to WWE for Cena's final match. Edge, like, it got a big pop. But that's something like WWE would never allow. Like, no, you cannot make such an incredible nod to the big man from the other company by doing several of his major moves.
Although I did mark out. I rarely mark out, but I thought that's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, you could do that in AEW, and they had. So, to me, I was actually annoyed how much Cena took that feud. I was ready for a longer Edge title reign in 2008 or whatever the hell it was.
But I gotta jump in. I was one of those young kids that was personally upset that Edge stole Lita from Matt Hardy's. So every time Edge lost for years and years, I celebrated. I was mad.
But that's why it reminds me, and we'll talk about Jack Perry later, but if Vince was in charge, Jack Perry and CM Punk would have main evented the next pay-per-view. Like, hey, I don't care if you guys like each other. You're both under contract. This is the match. Fuck off and go home if you don't want to do it.
You're getting paid a whole lot if you do it. You're getting paid fucking nothing. If you don't. Go home.
Yeah, and there was money in that feud, and that's kind of when AEW started to kind of, they had a nice high going. CM Punk was popular in AEW, and Jungle Boy. I hope he doesn't go back to that outfit.
So yeah, how far, we might as well go there. We're talking about it. He came out and re-debuted. And they had the video, like he buried Jungle Boy in the video when he came up with his new persona, and now he dug Jungle Boy back up, and they've got Baltimore again. And Luchasaurus is back again after being back last month as Kill Switch.
But I thought as soon as it happened, okay, why is he turning on the Bucks? Like, there's no storyline, there's no reason.
Out of nowhere, they didn't win the match. It was a ladder match, so they didn't take the big L. The other three teams just equally lost by not being Brodino, who got the belts at the end. So it was coming out of nowhere, and it's like, okay, they're doing a big thing here.
Like, I don't know. I would have had some reasoning behind him being mad at the Bucks for. I think we talked about it the last time. Where was Jungle Boy? He's just. You build him up to be this monstrous heel, which I thought he was really. You could tell he was having fun with it, and then he's just off of television for 7 months. So I would have done a vignette or something, maybe on Dynamite or. No one really watches Collision, but something where it's like, okay, he's coming back for revenge against the Bucks.
Tony Khan loves those surprises. We're like out of big surprises of new signings, so it's like big returns that are surprises. Oh yeah, the lights off. I don't like that trope. That was a Paul Heyman special. And WWE does it or they did do it so sparingly back in the day that it stuck out when they did it. The lights off and video to the rebirth of Luchasaurus from Kill Switch. I am no longer that name.
The only way they could salvage this, and I know they're not going to do it, but this is what I would do: is I would. They've already done the first part, which I wouldn't have done anyway. But if I was hired to come in right now and salvage it, and I can't undo what they've done, I would make this a swerve, and they're not actually going back to being like baby faces. It was just a swerve for a couple of weeks to get on the good side of a couple of people, and then bam, they're back to being Jack Perry and Kill Switch. That would be it.
I mean, it's a good tag team, so like I'm happy that they're reunited. But yeah, I could see that happening. They've gone so heavy with the trios titles that the tag team whole division's kind of a little wonky. You really only have Brodito, the Hurt Syndicate, Toa, and the other guy. I don't know. So I think they needed, and obviously Edge and Christian. The Bucks.
Oh, they teased the Scissor guys getting back together. They haven't been together in a while. They were on the show somewhere and teasing reunite.
That doesn't get my my weenie wet. Those guys reunited.
His whole gimmick is that he's been losing every single thing every time out. So that's not setting the world on fire.
I mean, I do kind of think it's funny, but you could tell. Like when it was initially brought up, it's like, yeah, that's a great idea. He'll be like the lovable loser, but then there's no payoff. Like, there's, it's almost like, they in WWE they did that thing with Heath Slater where he was getting creamed by all the legends, but there was a payoff with that. It was fun to see Sid come back and powerbomb him. Okay.
Heath Slater got the better version. Chavo Guerrero got that same thing, except with Hornswoggle instead of Legends.
Every now and then, wrestling will do it right, where they'll put someone on a losing streak. That way, they snap at the end and they end up becoming a killer. But I don't know why no one has pulled that trigger in a long time. But that's what I would do.
I mean, but you can tell they're stuck with this gimmick now of him losing and. Either he's being punished. I mean, this is something Vince would do. Okay, you didn't do what we wanted you to. You're going to lose every fucking week. We're going to ruin your character, basically. I don't see the Acclaimed coming back because, I don't know, unless they were heels or something, or there'd have to be some gimmick change.
Once again, time and place. They were very hot for a bit. Maybe it was around the same time as Kingston, and they're still there, but it's not the time. The trigger wasn't pulled. It was a blank, I tells you.
It was like the pay-per-view where it ended up being Swerve, and I always forget his name. The the fat black guy that we haven't seen in forever, where they won the tag
Keith
belts.
Lee, the big motherfucker.
I forget his name every time I want to talk about him for some reason. But that match, I think it was a triple threat, and the entire arena was chanting, "Oh, scissor me, daddy!" The whole arena was chanting. It was so bad that like everyone at home was like, Vince McMahon would probably call an audible. It's just the tag belts after all, and say, you know what? I've changed my mind. The Acclaim needs to go over. The arena would have exploded that pay-per-view.
Oh, I mean, when I went to AEW at the Forum, I think it was Sting's last appearance in LA. And now, if it was WWE, there would have been 50 Sting shirts, dolls, foam fingers.
The mask that we see hanging over your Earl back there.
The mask and the one glove, the other glove fell off. I don't know where it is. But instead,
they could have a Surfer Sting mask that just cover that have your mouth open, like the shitty version of the Kane mask.
But they would have that, But at this event in LA, they had probably 6 different Acclaim shirts, and because they were over, but then they just kind of. I don't know. They just kind of dropped the ball with them, and now I don't. You've ruined Max's character so much that I don't think people would really care unless they just are brought in this. They both start losing, like they become the job version of what Max Caster's doing.
They're the modern day, like in the Crockett era, the ding dongs. They just lose every week, or the Mulkeys. Just
I think of High Voltage. In WCW, even on WCW Saturday Night, High Voltage couldn't get a fucking victory, but they were jacked up to the nines.
Yeah, I mean, I just and I think the rapping was getting a little one note. When they first started popping every week, that his song would get big pops, and then I don't know if he writes his own stuff or if he had a writer. They started not bombing, to use a stand-up term, but it wasn't doing as well. So I think that hurt them. That I don't know why. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens. You could tell nobody cares about the angle there. Poor Jerry Lynn has to be the the conduit of this wherever this is going.
And I know this is totally off topic, but that's one of the things that grinds my gears about AEW is that they're blessed to have legends work for them like Jerry Lynn, who we all
and Dean Malenko,
Malenko, and Billy Gunn. And
apparently some people don't like Malenko at all. That's fun learning that he's one of the lesser liked agents as more people do interviews.
You have all the and what are they there for? Because apparently we've all heard the rumors backstage that it's not like WWE where, what the producers say, what the match agents say is what's going to happen in that ring, or there's going to be consequences. In AEW, apparently there's people in those roles like, Malenko and the rest of them. They more like make suggestions, but hey, you don't have to do any of this. And Tony Khan isn't going to, back me up. So I mean, shit, we all should just apply for being an AEW producer, because we could just make suggestions and you either do it or you don't, but I still get paid.
Yeah, that's the problem. Everyone still gets paid there, and I think that's why a lot of guys go there, and girls. You have the freedom to do what you want, and if you're Okada and say Omega, you can do a 25-minute match on Dynamite, where WWE, that match would be 8 minutes tops. So, and you don't have any house shows you have to do. So
we had 2 bloody matches. I thought that this card could have used the coffin match or the tax match. Both of them, we're doubling up on our death matches on this card. Glad to see Briscoe finally get a win. It was a funny visual, him pouring out 4 fucking buckets of tax, and and then the psychology of just a power struggle of no, you're going in, no, you're going in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like what they're doing with MJF. I mean, I love Briscoe, but like MJF 2 years ago was your biggest star
Yes, easy.
by far. And now he's dropping.
Is he going out? I heard someone theorize he's going to be out filming a movie, which would explain him taking a L to Briscoe, who. Yeah, I remember actually specifically after Jay died, the pay-per-view coming up, they did the Four Pillars match, and it's like, damn it, you needed to pivot to Mark versus MJF. That would have been really, really big, and been able to take him to just despicable heel by taking out Mark in some nefarious fashion. And MJF is. Got kicked out of the Hurts. Got his ass beat by Mark here. Actually, the Hurts, I'm feeling the same way. I actually dozed off a little bit during the Hurt Syndicate match with the Ricochet crew because I don't care about the Ricochet crew.
I only care about Ricochet and not much. And the other two guys, you couldn't pay me to remember their names.
I mean, I know it's Toa Leone, and I got to think about.
And I can't pay you to remember the other one.
But I don't. This is where the writing comes into question. Like, I wouldn't have had the Hurt Syndicate loose for quite a long time. And now what do you do with them? That's the problem. Is okay, they basically jobbed to Ricochet's crew. They lost.
It was MJF that took the pin, but it's still the Hurt Syndicate taking the L to. It's like they've worked up a certain amount of over points, and now all right, you need to share the over points, but you're not transferring properly. It's falling a bit flat. Them helping someone else get over with the Ricochet crew here,
and I did think just what you said. Like as soon as that match was over, I'm like, okay, well, I guess these guys are over a little bit now, but. Now I don't think AEW thinks, well, what do we do next? Like with MJF, what do we do next with the Hurt Syndicate? They've lost two in a row now. Now what? Like, I think they just literally, it's week by week. They're like, fuck it. Let's just figure it out next week. I'll see you guys at the taping. Like, so
actually, the main event was also thrown into chaos. It was apparently Wardlow that was going to be because it did seem kind of odd it being Kyle Fletcher, but someone from the Callis crew, since Wardlow just immediately slips on a banana peel and hurts himself.
Well, but once again, I mean, we've said it 3 times today. Like, there's no extra. I understand Wardlow tore his pec, but like. When Buddy Matthews got hurt and they did that gimmick where they beat him up backstage and they just showed him unconscious. Okay, do that with Wardlow. Like now they don't even mention the guy. Like it's just like.
Yeah, it is weird when they do that. I remember that they were promoting Samoa Joe's leaving. He's going to be going to do the Twisted Metal thing for a few months. And they still did a fucking injury angle after already announcing Darby, same thing. It's very weird when Tony chooses to do an injury angle, especially when it's like that's kind of 1987 strategy when people didn't know everything and you didn't tell them Joe's leaving, Darby's climbing a mountain. Let's injure him on the way out too.
But with Wardlow, you don't get anything with Wardlow. It's just he's gone. Where's Jay White?
Complete opposite.
Where's Buddy Matthews? Like, gone. So, but if they're not going to change by now, it's probably someone else gets hurt. They're going to do the same thing. All right, he's off air. Let's go to the next guy or girl.
I just don't even understand why they can't even. I mean, just do it the cheapest way possible. Do the emergency Jim Ross segment when Sting blew out his knee climbing the cage to get Ric Flair at the Clash of Champions. They can. Even WCW or NWA at the time came up with like the on the spots, like fans, we gotta announce backstage where there was no cameras. So the Horseman jumped Sting and basically crippled him, but they've been consistent with someone gets injured, they go off TV. They don't mention them at all. They don't even spend 30 seconds on a B show going, oh yeah, we're sad to tell you all this, but Wardlow's got an injury and he's going to be out a couple months. They just completely write them off TV as if they never existed.
Well, it's like I really liked what they were doing last year with Okada, the Bucks, and Perry. It's like I got like a Four Horsemen vibe from them. I mean, not like a prime Four Horsemen, but like it had that. Okada was like almost like the Asian flair with the suits, and Perry was like, I don't know, the Barry Windham of the group, and the Bucks were the Andersons, and then this Jack Perry's gone. I don't even think he was injured. Like he was just written off of TV for 8 months. So
I don't recall any injury or anything as well. I think he was just not being used for an unknown reason.
Yeah, but like you build him up. I mean, that was quite a transformation from coming out to Baltimore, this Jungle Tarzan Boys song, to this bearded, all black wearing biker. I thought it was well done. And then you just, all right, it's like an Etch-a-Sketch, just erase it.
And when sometimes you got to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. And the AEW got the worst of the CM Punk situation with what all went down. So, okay, we're stuck with Jack Perry. There's going to be some backlash. There's going to be some people that just hated Punk anyway, but there's going to be backlash. Well, what can we do out of it from like just a TV perspective? It's like, because we're not going to fire Jack Perry. So, well, what should we do? Should we try to do the idiot thing and lean in and make him a good guy? No, we're at least smart enough not to try to make him the good guy in this situation. So why don't we lean into it, make him a bad guy, make him even badder. Lean into his Hollywood roots, make him an I'm better than you, not a carbon copy of MJF, but make him get across how much better that he is than these common people that come, that work 9 to 5 jobs. He comes from a Hollywood family. He's from Hollywood, California. He was a millionaire the day he was born, but none of that. Nope.
I'm from Hollywood. That was the Andy Kaufman's whole feud with Jerry Lawler. Fucking loved when Comedy Central had no money and they'd air that like once every 6 weeks. Yes. Fun times.
They still have no money.
No. Then they should keep airing it once every 6 weeks. That was fun times. Bring it back. So we had, I mentioned the Darby and Moxley match. The ending of that reminded me of the worst of the NWO, where here we've got the group again. Yeah, you want to see your hero win, but no, the entire group's gonna just clobber him. And by the end, they did a few dives onto the coffin, so it looked like it was run over by a truck as they ended. That was a funny visual.
I mean, I enjoyed the match. They do have good chemistry. I don't know about setting Moxley on fire, but
they really like threatening fire. They keep going back to that.
Like we all understand it ain't real, but like it's a little like I like when I watch the movie Predator. I don't think I'm watching a documentary, but I still I like the facts to add up. Like I watch Predator and go, okay, this could happen. Like in this weird world, there's no conceivable situation where you can light a guy on fire and just next week you're not arrested or like something. Like it's just AEW. I don't know.
Kidnapping and arson aren't chargeable offenses during the hours of the show. Those have been lifted.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe there's more, but a lot of kidnappings. And oh boy, it was just last month that MJF was about to light Mark Briscoe on fire.
Jesus, he's lost his brother, and it's just not good enough for MJF. He has to set him on fire to send him to hell to see his brother. I just don't know.
Well, that's like when Darby poured kerosene on Jack Perry. It's like, all right, this is getting a little much, man. Like this is like out of control. But
we'll quit for him. He's too much of a man to quit.
And then Jack Perry set himself on fire. Like I'll give it. Listen, I like him. Like, but I thought it was a really good pay-per-view, to be honest. Like it had a little bit of everything: returns, blood, good matches with Okada, and like there wasn't.
The three-way match. They were telling such an odd story with two Callis family members there, and Don Callis to help explain it on the commentary, where he's this young boy. They're just being competitive. And the other announcers, no, I think he's really going for it. And the Callis family it's just so fucking big. Who do we have as a bad guy? Get in there. They debuted Osprey in there for some reason before I would like to go. Thank you. Is it a dozen? I don't know how. It might be a dozen. Well, it's one less because Wardlow was in there for a day. They were going to have a thing with him and actually, maybe that's just Takashite's gimmick. He was staring down Wardlow, his group member. He's trying to get the win over Okada, his group member. So he's just beating up his buddies. He's ready to do that.
But see, that's what I like. We talked about lack of storytelling. They're telling a story with Okada and Takeshita, and I'm kind of getting interested in I want to see these guys get in the ring, and because that's going to be a great match. Takeshita's like the younger version of Okada, so I think they could play off of that. Like Okada, and Okada's not old, but oh, you're the new version of me. Well, I still got some gas in the tank, bitch.
Get him coming out to Megadeth. Hello, me, it's me. I want to see that hype video, Tony Khan.
But I mean, this is a rare occasion where they're drawing you in to, I don't know what the next pay-per-view, I think it's Wrestle Dream, which would probably be where they would have those guys, since that's kind of an international card. So we'll see what happens. I think Don Callis is on TV too much.
And he's such a random person to be on TV that much too. He was pretty much he didn't have much of a run in WWF. He had a little bit of a run in ECW, a little bit of a run in TNA that no one remembers at all. And now he's just everywhere. It's I'm just wondering if this isn't like an ECW nostalgia boner that Tony Khan has. It's you were in ECW, and I loved ECW more than anything. So you've got a job for life. Come on over.
TNA, he was behind the scenes. He was running the show, executive producer style, for a little while, wasn't he?
Yeah, he had one of those roles as well. So, but as far as an on TV character, I couldn't name anything he did in TNA.
Well, that's
I feel like he was behind the scenes, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, he was, but that's the interesting thing now with Karrion Kross being available with I think it's his wife, and everyone thinks, oh, Tony Khan, this is tailor made for Karrion Kross to come in and do promos But I guess in TNA, Callis was a little creepy with Karrion's wife. Is it his wife or girlfriend?
I've been hearing wife over and over again. So I'm going to go wife.
Maybe it's common law if they're still just going out.
That's why I would break up with a girl. Out here in California, it's 6 years. So about the 5 year and 10-month mark, I'd be like, hey, this isn't really working out.
Want to move to Wyoming? Otherwise, I think I'm out.
So, but we go back to Vince. If he owned AEW, he would sign Karrion Kross and his wife and go, you guys are going up against the Callis family. And Callis is going to put back the boots on for a match. So it'll be interesting because I don't think he'd go to TNA, but I mean, he's really tailor-made for AEW with the promos. So that'll be interesting to see where he goes.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the logical thing would be. But from what we understand, AEW likes to do the thing where it's well, you don't like this guy and you don't like that guy. Well, we do the opposite of Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels here. We're going to put you all on different shows and make sure your paths don't ever cross. So as much as I'd like to see Karrion Kross pop up somewhere, if he pops up in AEW, I ain't got my hopes that him and Callis are going to have any interaction.
I mean, it would be fascinating television, but I certainly understand from a personal, real life perspective, Karrion Kross is probably like, fuck you guys. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't think anyone really does. It's just alleged, basically sexual harassment, which, what a shock. A guy like Don Callis would be creepy.
Yeah. And I mean, I know I'm on a sidebar here. I'm going to go ahead and call it now. It's like, who knows what happened with Jericho? It's like there's all these allegations, but no one involved has actually allegated anything. The internet has drummed up that Jericho harassed some poor girl, and because this girl liked one tweet that some random person put out, the internet has dreamed up that Chris Jericho is some kind of monster, and I think it's pretty unfair how rumors can destroy someone's career.
I think that Jericho and his wife have an arrangement. If you notice, there's been several Christmases in a row where he goes on late night drunken rants. It seems when it's family time for too long, he gets a little stir crazy.
But I'm sure wrestling's very much like my business of comedy, where, if a booker's creepy with you, or, I mean, I certainly experienced a casting couch type of situation with had a casting at Fox. I mean, like, this guy casted X-Files and many other things, and I didn't speak out because I'm like, this guy with one phone call could bury me. He's dead now, so I win. So
you're gonna bury him.
But I could understand like the Jericho girl or Karrion Kross's wife. Like, you speak out against Don Callis, he knows everyone. So you could call WWE, AEW, TNA. He'll probably even call Pro Wrestling Guerrilla and go, "Don't hire this girl." So I get that side of the equation. You're gonna, I know Jericho. He's a great guy, but but doesn't mean I'm a great guy. We're all capable of something crazy. So, I mean, wrestlers are pretty horned up.
Yeah, and I've got to remember next time. Each time I say it was an early show this time. Actually, that's right. I had to work during I was live. I want to watch it at Dave and Buster's. They had two bloodbaths in the middle of the day that were broadcast nationwide to Dave and Buster's, and I would like to be part of the people watching this very awkward, uncomfortable tack match amongst family.
Well, that's like when I saw Morrissey. I went because Billy Idol was opening, but Morrissey was the headliner, and he has I'm not familiar with Morrissey that much, but he has a song, I guess, called "Meat is Murder," and they show this horrific video where like animals are being skinned alive, and they're showing slaughterhouses, and there's kids in the crowd crying, and it's a very graphic video. So I would love to see the kids bowling at Dave and Buster's, looking up, and Darby's trying to rip Moxie's earlobe off.
And we've gone through about all the matches. There were two ladies' matches. The Riho and Monet went for a while. I didn't take many notes. That was around the Hurt Syndicate time when I was having trouble remaining into it.
Do you want to guess the star rating on the Mercedes Moon match?
It's gonna be above 3 3/4. So it's 4.
I'll say 3.5.
Dave Meltzer gave it a 4.
All right, I got that round of roulette.
But I will say,
I was there.
I thought Riho was pretty stiff on Mercedes, like with some of those foot stomps on the stomach. That's just got to hurt a little bit.
Yeah, it looked like she laid in some stuff. I want to give Rio a little bit of credit. She actually looks like she's gained some weight, so she doesn't look quite as olive oil as she used to years back.
She looks like she's 102 pounds now, rather than 86.
Yes.
I mean, I think they definitely need. Like, what happened? Speaking of where Jack Perry and all these guys disappeared, Jay White. What happened to Camille? Or the big girl? Like, she'd be a great opponent for Mercedes.
She was in and out. I think she rubbed Mercedes herself the wrong way, because really quickly they started making her look like a goof, and then she was just off TV. That's like, was she even there a month? Because it was in and out, and someone didn't like her and said, "Get her away from me." I think it was Monet.
Because they kind of replaced her, not with Mercedes, but with Megan Bain, who's kind of playing a very similar character. But I thought they were kind of teasing Camille turning on Mercedes at points. I thought, that could be it. Because her matches in not TNA, NWA, I think, were really awesome. Like, she's like an athletic Chyna. Like, she can do things that I don't think Chyna could do. So that was just weird how she's just gone.
The other women's match, I was glad to see Chris Statlander win. And last pay-per-view, I think I said it off air instead of on. I wish the opening pre-show, Chris Statlander was part of like a 6-woman or an 8-woman match. I would have liked to seen a one-on-one, because I like her, either losing to Megan Bain or winning against Harley. Of all the 8 women on the pre-show last month, But has Chris Statlander been built up in the last month, Earl? Because as far as I know, this is somewhat out of nowhere.
I mean, they've been having her in more segments with Harley, who I fucking love. Like, she's a great comedy character and has improved in the ring a lot. I mean, she's pretty green. I think has wrestled under 2 years. So yeah, I mean, they definitely, I think the problem with Statlander is she's not great on the mic. So you either need to pair her with someone like Harley, who's so camera friendly, or a new manager, like, who could speak for her.
Harley can absolutely speak. She's done like all the voice acting classes, right? She sounds like Invader Zim when she wants to. Has she broken out a puppet again? I loved when she broke out the Mercedes puppet. I was hoping that was going to be a regular thing with all the people that she's aligned with.
I mean, maybe she could be the manager. Like, a female manager's never really been outside of Sherry.
Valet traditionally, Miss Elizabeth, and Flair's harem of ladies.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess you could say woman. Benoit's wife, she was kind of managing the Four Horsemen for a second, but that was in the Sid era, Four Horsemen.
And then in the Mongo era, she was just a valet along with Liz. She was not managing in '96. Just
think about it,
looking pretty.
That's pretty rare that someone used to manage someone and then a couple of years go by and they manage them again out of nowhere. So woman's got that going for her. But you know what is rare is a woman manager to another woman.
Yeah.
You almost never see that. I can't. I've been sitting here trying to think if I can think of a common example of like what we're talking about here. The athlete that's going to be in the ring and then the mouthpiece shit disturber on the outside of the ring. And I can't think of one example.
I mean,
and Harley's got a mouth on her. Chris Statlander has size. They could go either way of being a face or a heel team. You were talking that anyone could be a producer. Help me hook this up, Harley. I want to make this happen. Of Harley and Chris Statlander together.
Well, I have my Harley puppet, but I don't know if that's going to help.
I love Harley Cameron. Like, I mean, she's just the best. But it'll be interesting to see where they go with Statlander. Maybe build up to her and Mercedes. I mean, Tony Storm's certainly in the mix. I like the Toxic Spider. She's good. She's probably a little small to be like the full-time champion, but who knows? So it'll but it kind of harkened me back to the old days of AEW with Statlander winning, who I think was the last person to beat Jade when she left AEW.
I think she was the person to beat Jade.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anyone else.
No, that was it. Jade's got one loss on her record, and that's her.
So, but they kind of botched that. You think, okay, she beat Jade, and then they kind of just had her in these goofy 8-woman tag matches and kind of these pointless. I hate these fucking 8 tag person matches. You don't care who wins. And I understand maybe having them on 0 hour. You got to someone's got to open up the show, but I hope. I don't know who her next opponent should be. Maybe Tony. Who knows?
One of the things I wanted to bring up where they botched Statlander in the past is what we're just talking about here. She's the one to beat Jade, and then Jade's out of the company. If this would have been any other era in wrestling with people that had some common sense, they would have doubled down on that and then be like, and this is the woman that took the belt from Jade Cargill that was undefeated and ran her out of the company. She's no longer here, and it's because of that woman right there and leaned into it. Leaned into it more than Kevin Nash getting the win over Goldberg. That's exactly what I've done. But it's like we're talking about, it's like she won a belt, and then it was just like,
Oh, that's right. Jade had the TNT title forever. And now Mercedes, that's the gimmick of the title. They just give it to their Goldberg to hold on for ever and ever.
Until their contract's up. Then it's like, and there won't be any build up. It'll just be like, oh, your contract's up and you were booked to wrestle this person. Well, I guess they're beating you. Thanks for your service. And we're not going to make a big deal out of it either. So,
yeah, actually, you were saying Tony Storm I would hope she would be the next opponent. She won it. Chris won it kind of fluky. It was a pinning combination, kind of out of nowhere. So getting a decisive and maybe turning Tony heel. I don't know. Maybe the fans just love her shtick too much for her to go heel. As I'm trying to work that out, what it could be.
Well, I think. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, but I think. It's hard for me to put in the words because I've been to AEW events. I've been to a lot of wrestling. And when you're there live, you want to be part of the show and you want to interact with stuff, even stuff that you don't like necessarily. I do not like Tony Storm's gimmick at all. I thought it was a gimmick that should have been done about like the Goldust stuttering gimmick. For a couple of months, and then you're done. We're done with this. Maybe revisit it in the future, but she kind of came into it the same way. It was some kind of injury in the ring or something like that made her go loopy. And she's been doing this like timeless gimmick for like a year straight or longer.
Maybe 2?
Maybe 2 years. It's been going on for too long, but I get it when you're the fans in the arena love it because it's something for them to interact with. But I just don't think the real world loves that gimmick anymore. I think the real
Road
world
Rules loves that gimmick, even though real world doesn't. You think they'd love the same thing?
Yes, I think it's time they hang that up for a while because as a serious wrestler, I love Tony Storm. But this isn't working for me personally anymore.
Well, I will say when I saw them in Bakersfield, and she was, I think it was her against Harley and maybe a few others. It was like one of those 6-woman tag things. And I got to watch things you probably wouldn't see on television. And she stays in character the whole time. Like she's like thumbing her nose at the crowd and acting like a Hollywood starlet. It's pretty funny live, but I see what
she does saying. Those post-show scrums very well in character too. Anytime I hear clips from that, the one recent dropping a Stan Hansen reference of that's right, taking Stan Hansen's other lariat. and she was talking, I believe, to a Japanese crowd. Whatever it was very fitting.
Well, I think RJ City helps her write. He's her, like, to use a music reference, he's her Desmond Child. He writes the hits and she sings them. But I think getting back to Statlander, the problem with her is, like, she's kind of manly looking. I think she's kind of cute, but it's, I don't know. I mean, all the other wrestlers on the roster are kind of cute. Like, you've got Tony Storm's, pretty, and Mercedes is pretty, and Julia Hart's kind of cute, and Sky Blue. Like, so she's kind of like the butch girl of this particular crop of women. So I don't know if you turn her into a China-like destroyer of these girls, or you glam her up a little bit. It'll be interesting to see how they develop her character, because she's a big girl.
Yeah, I would lean into making her more of a China character, but they they do have Jamie Hayter. I mean, she's got to do something with that awful hair, though. I don't know what they're trying. I don't know why they're trying to make her look like she's from 1970s England for some reason.
Maybe they'll debut the rest of the Bundy family with that hairdo she's got.
That would be pretty funny.
But I'm a big fan of Jamie Hayter, especially from her a couple of years back. Like, I mean, I've heard other wrestlers say this too. She wrestles like a damn man. When she lays in that clothesline finish of hers, it looks legit. I wouldn't want to take it.
Yeah, I mean, I saw her wrestle live. It was that AEW card at the Forum where MJF went nuts on the promo, where he called Tony Khan a mark. It was that card. And she
fire me.
Yeah, you
already fired.
You effing Mark. But I forget who Jamie was wrestling. But I said to my buddy, like, "Damn, she does wrestle like a dude. Like it's stiff." And I think they were trying to make her look like Becky Lynch with that red hair, and or because when she first debuted again after her injury, it's like, oh man, she looks kind of like a Becky Lynch clone. So I would have her go back to her. I don't know what her natural hair color is now, but
I don't either.
Because she's good, but she's got the injury thing now. She's like the female Wardlow. She's always hurt.
Yeah, that's why she disappeared. It's like she got injured and they didn't talk about it. She was just gone, and then now she's back. But she's one of the people I would always have at the top or around the top. Like, if she's not holding a belt, she is going after a belt. She is never in just a storyline with another girl for some reason, because she to me can come across as a legitimate threat.
Yeah. Because I think with Statlander, it's almost like the Hurt Syndicate, where it's really not believable many of the women on the AEW roster could beat her. Now, I know it's like not an actual wrestling event, but
that hasn't stopped them before. Let's not forget the first women's title match ended with Riho versus Nia
Jax. Oh yeah, right.
Nyla Rose, but the trans version. So Riho beat the hell, and they never brought any attention to that. That's something that I was actually behind, and like, oh, you've got a trans female wrestler, and it was just never mentioned ever again, which I thought was very strange. Especially you got this trans female just getting her ass whipped by Riho over and over again.
The 86-pound version of Rio, I might add.
Yeah. Wasn't there another trans wrestler, Sonny Kiss?
Yeah.
TNA. The other trans wrestler was in TNA. He was like a cross dresser. He was in drag. Sonny Kiss was born a man, but he was very flamboyant and in drag.
Yeah, but he came out as trans later. I mean, CM Punk has talked about it.
When he was on the roster that first year, he was presenting male doing drag.
Yeah, but he wrestled other men, so that was that. I guess that. I mean, I know we're probably not supposed to call it a gimmick, but like his gimmick was he was trans, but he wrestled other men, as opposed to Nyla Rose, who was trans but wrestled women.
I mean, yeah, you got to be careful. Like,
Yeah.
it is a hell of a gimmick, though. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
So that was the AEW Women's World Heavyweight Title onto the AEW Men's World Heavyweight Title, and Adam Page is not going to stop doing that. He's just going to keep calling his belt the Men's World Title, and it sounds very silly to me every time.
The Swinging Dicks World Title.
I was hoping that Josh Matthews would introduce him as the men's champion, because that's what he's calling it. Like when Lance Storm had the Canadian championship in WCW. Announce it as the proper Canadian. Announce it proper. The men's World Heavyweight Championship, Justin.
Jesus God.
I love Paige. He's grown on me from year one to now. Like I'm older than you guys. To me, he's almost like, not only because he looks like him a little bit to me, he's like AEW's Magnum TA. Like, he's just the perpetual good guy. Always something's bad happening to him, world's against him. And I just hope he stays off the Porsche and the rain-soaked roads.
Yeah, when Swerve Strickland isn't threatening his child in the crib, and he doesn't get revenge by burning down Swerve Strickland's childhood home.
But they eventually united together against the Moxley crew.
Sometimes your worst enemies can make your best friends.
But they have great chemistry. Like, usually I don't like to see guys wrestle each other too much. But if they did another program with Swerve and Hangman, I would be into it, because they just, like, I was at the one, I think it was at the Forum where I think Swerve drank Hangman's blood. Like, legit. Like, it was legit. He was over his mouth and the blood started. And it was wild. I mean, people were freaking out. So, a great match. I mean, Fletcher's like the AEW's Randy Orton, basically.
He looks good. I saw him live when I saw AEW. He impressed me live, and here on this show he looks so young still.
That's
he does. He's going to look so much better when he gets a haggard look. Maybe go out and have a tiger swipe your face. Come back with a nice ugly scar. Then you'll look like a main event to me. He does look like a college sophomore or a freshman, but very impressive in the ring.
Some of the things I do like about him, but I think he needs to tone it back a little bit, is like when I was watching that match, he would do these very audible things, like when he's getting thrown in the air for a back body drop, you can hear him go ah, and but I like it,
Luger style.
But he needs to not do it as much, but I like that he does it.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely, I think, their new inside of a year superstar. Like, he wasn't homegrown, because I know he came from I think New Japan with the United Empire with him and Ospreay and Mark Davis, another guy who was just written off TV. Where's Mark Davis? So I could see a good program with him and Ospreay. I mean, I know they had that wild cage match last year, but there's a lot of good potential. I mean, Fletcher's got a very long career ahead of him.
My biggest complaint of this match is the same I have of every match, of the brainbuster through the table. Just keep on going. Tombstone on the floor, DDT on the floor. Match keeps on going. Those are to me like I'd like if they were still hospitalization angles. Ric Flair being pile driven through a table by Terry Funk was a
and it was like the
hospitalization
worst
angle.
pile driver of all time. It didn't break
Yeah.
the table or nothing. They rolled off of it awkward, but it was a damn injury angle.
Yeah, anything head contact to the concrete floor. I don't want that to be mid match type of thing.
Right.
So that's just going to be my regular complaint because AEW does a lot of these. The first show in Vegas, the ladder match between Lucha Brothers and Young Bucks had a Canadian destroyer off the ladder through a couple of tables, and the match kept going. That's just a complaint I'm gonna have about this company. It's over. He's dead. Oh, he's up. He's going again.
Now we had the pile drivers on the floor, and we had pile drivers and everything there. But there's another. We can't end this show without rewinding a little bit and hearkening back to another great Terry Funk and Ric Flair moment when, for some reason, Bryan Danielson needed to have a full AEW branded duffel bag to like hand over to Darby Allin to unzip to reveal a regular plastic bag.
You gotta get the promotion. Always be promoting.
I got such a kick out of it because I was like, why didn't he just hand him the plastic bag directly? Why did he have to have the
It was not a hat on a hat. It was a bag in a bag.
I mean, who doesn't want an AEW duffel bag?
I want that one if it comes with the historic try to murder the guy with the plastic bag.
I want more Nigel McGuinness on commentary. He's funny, man.
Oh yeah, he is.
I don't.
Taz
sometimes phones it in a little bit, and I get it.
Oh,
he's older.
Yeah. Just listen to Taz on
and they get in
show.
a giggle fest.
Yeah.
They very much in the just hee hee ha ha. Tony Schiavone, ugh. I blame Conrad Thompson for starting the false narrative that he was a good commentator during Nitro. He was not. He would be fun more as a backstage interview, I think. You know, maybe 1 hour every so often. But you.
I kind of like him, but you know, I also I've been listening to Schiavone. I mean, Jesus, since the mid '80s to the Lethal Lottery pay-per-view, which is probably one of my favorite pay-per-views ever.
The pay-per-view where they would just mash randoms together. Like I'm just making this up. Rick Rude would be teaming with Big Josh.
Yeah, well, no, they would have like enemies as tag team partners. So
the Lethal Lottery. I like that gimmick, and many times they didn't play it right. They literally it could be anybody, random. See, it's completely random people that aren't having feuds, and nothing's going on here. Yeah.
Like you had Sting and Abdullah the Butcher as a tag partner. Like that was maybe the worst tag team ever in the history of wrestling. One guy's greener than a leprechaun, and Abdullah the Butcher can barely fucking move. But I think, you know, the way they ended it, that one in 91 I'm talking about, the one specific one was we talk about storytelling is at the end of the day, it was Luger and Sting against each other, but it was like very well done. I wish they would go back to just having one Lethal Lottery pay-per-view in AEW. You know, you could have the young.
When they did it, it was like over a month, right? It was only the finals on a pay-per-view. I remember that being like a big, long-standing thing.
You know, I could see. I wouldn't mind that. You know, you could have the Bucks against each other. Like I think they had the Freebirds against each other in a match, and it was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I would like them. That's one thing WWE hasn't gone back to is the Lethal Lottery, and AEW dragging it out. I didn't like it as much as just being a gimmick pay-per-view, having that all condensed into one. And ultimately it made MJF a good guy, which some of us thought we wanted, but we didn't want that.
Oh no,
he's a heel.
Did not want that.
He's got to be a heel at all times.
Thanks for joining us, Earl. I know that you have some things going on. You can't stick around for too long. So you can find Earl at Earl Skakel. Dr. Harley Quinn talks wrestling on Sunday. I forgot to talk to you about getting you to talk about Sting upcoming soon, but we'll email about that. Any final thoughts?
What's going on with Sting?
Just talking about him. Dr. Harley does a Sunday show where he'll go over wrestler's career, and we had a fun time with Luger recently, and Dr. Harley wanted to get you on to talk a Sting on an upcoming Sunday.
I mean, we'll start with the Blade Runners, and we'll just end. I will say this about Sting: I think AEW did him right. Like they, I think we all know what the WWE did to him.
Oh yeah, we watched an abortion live on TV with Sting and WWE. It was awful.
Yeah, we could spend an hour talking about that terrible thing, or we could just ignore it and half mention it in a Sting discussion.
I can't. Like that is. I mean, I know we got to wrap it up, but like that. What they did to Sting, they did him dirty, man. Like he must have really wanted the video rights. I'm assuming he just agreed to everything to get his video rights, because I think Sting is his own manager in real life, so I don't think he negotiates very hard. I personally would have sales pitched something completely different. I would not have had Triple H be his first opponent, but
nope.
I'm of the Mark category, which I still think, and I don't care what Bruce Pritchard says on his podcast or anyone else. I think Vince McMahon only wanted Sting, and he kept after Sting for years and years and years just to get that one last kick in the stomach to WCW. I know that sounds like a little kid, but
that's what we saw.
That's what we saw.
That's what we saw.
But like, there's more money, man. I can't end just this as a tease. I have to get this off my chest. There would have been more money building Sting up. You either have him. My idea was you have Randy Orton in the ring, and he revives the Legend Killer gimmick, and he's in the ring. He's like, I've beaten Hogan, I've beaten Angle, I've beaten The Rock, I've beaten all these great wrestlers, and then the lights go out. I'm pretty sure they're not going to have Sting come down from the arena, or knowing Vince, he probably would. And then Sting drops down and goes, "You didn't beat me." And then, they have a nice program. And he gets a win at WrestleMania. And then he jobs to The Undertaker at the next WrestleMania 33. And then everyone walks away happy.
And he doesn't take a fucking buckle bomb. What were you thinking, Rollins?
Yes.
Well, it's two of them. One, he took two. He almost fucking got killed.
He was like 50 something at the time. I want to say about 53. You're throwing a 53-year-old man that has wrestled very, very, very part-time, and it's a move it's not like you can turn around and go, okay, I know where I need to put my
but we see his willingness to compete in matches with glass and all that shit. So he was, you can see how he was like, yeah, give me your move, give me that buckle bomb.
Or no one agrees with me. I would love to know what you guys think. You want to get if you want to bring him in as a bad guy, and I don't think he probably didn't want to be a bad guy because of his Christian things.
Yeah,
he's the one who breaks the Taker's streak, and he would have had so much fucking heat. And then obviously
burned his house.
100%. But that's where the money was. And then you have Taker beat him obviously in the next WrestleMania, but or you have him cost do not a run in, but maybe Lesnar beats him, but it's because of Sting's interference or something but Triple H beating Sting meant nothing because I would have had him lose. I would have Triple H lose because the next day Triple H is still the evil corporate heel married to the boss's daughter, and that next day no one wanted Sting's merchandise, the little kid. And whereas if he would have beat Triple H clean, every kid's gonna want one of these stupid masks or the bats, the gloves, the t-shirts, the whatevers. And 100%.
That was Triple H's second reign of terror, the latter WrestleManias, where he had that 35 fucking minute match with Batista, and he got his win back from Brock Lesnar. When Brock Lesnar broke his arm at the whatever pay-per-view, people were not showing him sympathy. They were cheering for Brock, and he had to get his goddamn win back from Brock at Mania.
We're just going to pretend. We're just going to pretend I've got sympathy.
I mean, we could go on another hour, man. Like, I'm still like pissed at what they did to Sting. You know, it's just like yeah. I mean,
we got some of that venom out, so it won't dominate the Sting program.
I'll stop. I could go on forever. I could call my sisters right now and go, "Hey, I'm sorry. I know we got some family stuff to take care of, but I got to talk about Sting."
We weren't talking about Sting. It changed to a Sting discussion. You understand?
And whenever we talk about Sting, it'll be just like this. It's like we're just going to go all over the map. We're gonna be talking about the 80s 1 minute and the 2010s the next minute, because I'd like to think I'm a little bit of a Sting fan, but we'll have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, and people forget he was in TNA for 13 fucking years. So like, there's that era. So I'll shut up. I keep going. My sister's going to kill me. I could go on forever.
Yeah, we'll let you get to your sister, because we could definitely start this up. We went, I think, 2.5 hours last time. So we will let you get to your obligation instead of dragging you down a hole, talking about the Paul Orndorff arm or something along that nature.
Yes, please.
See, Dr. Harley's already starting. We're wrapping up, sir.
I can.
Or the fake Abdullah the Butcher electrocution.
Well, the lever wouldn't.
I got to put the lever up so I can put it down.
That's where Shivani was selling it. That's vintage Shivani when Abdullah the Butcher's in the chair and the thing's not even touching him. Like, it's not even like, and he's like,
that's that TBS budget.
Shivani's really selling it. Oh my God, he's getting electrocuted.
But the ones I really got at the top of my list that I want to go, long form on when I can, get some of your time, Earl, is Sting. Obviously, I love Sting. We grew up with Sting, and so I want to go long form with you on that. As long as I can get you, we'll go.
Yeah.
If it's fun, we'll go all. We'll, like Ric Flair, we'll go all night. But, so I ain't got a time limit. I'm there talking till I run out of steam. But I want to talk about Sting. I want to talk long form about Rick Rude. I want to talk about people that people don't talk about a lot. I want to talk about Billy Gunn.
Yeah.
And that's coming up on Dr. Harley Quinn's channel Sundays on YouTube, including his TNA run where he was with the beautiful people. Can't forget these TNA runs. Everyone had one, damn near.
And I want to talk about Lenny and Lodi, the West Hollywood Blondes.
Fuck yeah, may as well. I mean, I don't think we could squeeze longer than 15 minutes out of it, but I mean, it'd be a great 15 minutes.
I call him Ropey Lodi.
I mean, we might have to. That would be like an Abba Zaba bar where you just stretch that shit. I don't think I could go more than 7 minutes on Lenny and Lodi, to be honest with you.
We'll include a watch along. Help beef that one up.
Well, let's talk on X. I'm down. Whenever Sundays are usually good for me, so depending on where the Steelers are playing, I got to watch my Steelers, and so.
Well, not to put you on the spot now, but are you doing anything Sunday that you know of right now, or am
I know that the Steelers play in the morning, so if you want to do afternoon, I can. I'm just fascinated that you've got the Steelers and the Vikings in Scotland. There haven't been that many black people in Scotland in a long time.
Oh, there we go. Okay, well, yeah, right. We'll hammer it out. But yeah, I know you're helping. You got family obligations, so we won't hold you.
All right, I love
Lois
you guys.
Coffin as well. Thank you very much
for coming by.
Thank you.
Well, it looks like that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for going on this adventure with me. It's fun being with friends. I'll see you next time. Bye now.
Bye for now.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day.
Places all. All join hands, circle left. Now circle right and listen to me. LS, MFT. Alimentary corners like swinging on a gate. To right to your honey with the right and left date. Grand right and left around you go. Lucky strike means fine tobacco. Meet your honey and give her a whirl. All swing around with the little girls. Smoke 'em, then you'll see. LS, MFT. Promenade and don't you fall. Promenade around the hall. Lucky strike is first again with tobacco men. Promenade straight down the pike. It's time right now for a lucky strike. Yes, for smoking that you're bound to like, you just can't beat a lucky strike.